Welcome to Not Just a Transaction, the podcast series hosted by experienced real estate authorities Nick Fontaine and Zachary Beach. Each week, the hosts bring you expert guests to help you navigate the many creative options available for buying or selling a home, while cutting out the costly hurdles of a conventional real estate deal.
Hey there, everyone. This is Zachary Beach, and welcome to another episode of Not Just a Transaction podcast, your buyer and seller podcast. Now, unfortunately, Nick is not with us today. It's a bit sad, but don't worry. I'm going to wear both little hats today, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to provide you with just as much value, if not more, because let's be serious. I'm here. No, I'm just kidding. But don't worry, you're going to get a ton of value today, and we're going to really dive into a really in-depth conversation right now. Because I'm going to tell you about the purpose of our company. The purpose is to provide solutions to unforeseen real estate and financial challenges. So those of you that are listening today, if you find yourself in an unforeseen real estate or financial challenge, we may be able to help today. Because every single one of the buyers and sellers that we have worked with, we've been able to, I believe, solve that challenge. Solve that challenge through either our rent-to-own program for our buyers or one of the ways in which we structure the purchase of these properties. Now, this purpose of ours drives our company. It's the reason why we have this podcast today. It is the North Star for us. It's every single decision that we make follows under the purpose. I'm going to walk through some of these challenges that people have had, and these are not all of them, but maybe you can resonate with one of them. And if that to be the case, then make sure that we're connecting. Make sure you're reaching out to our team. The easiest way to do that would just be go to prepropertysolutions.com/podcast and just go ahead and type in the contact us form. We see life events happen quite often. We've helped sellers that have gone through divorces. It's an unfortunate situation, as divorce is an absolute challenge and typically is unforeseen. And there's always the dividing of the assets. And typically, real estate is going to be one of the biggest assets. Now, we've been able to help out sellers be able to move on and exit out of the property without dealing with the hassles of a traditional market, without dragging things on. In particular, I'm thinking of a couple that tried to make it work, moved into a property, rehabbed the property, drove up credit card debt, was on the brink of getting foreclosed on, was in arrears about $4,000 to $5,000, and they didn't see the light. And luckily, we were able to connect. Luckily, we were able to reach them. And when we did, we were able to help them part ways and help them get out of debt. I've had, unfortunately, 2 sellers have children pass away. And I can't even imagine, as I have a 4 and a 2-year-old, imagine having a child of mine pass away. But when it did happen, exiting a house and leaving the environment in which you have so many memories can be a priority. And not only can be a priority, it needs to be a priority and happen quickly. And we were lucky enough to be able to meet these amazing people and be able to help them move on and move on quickly. On a lighter note, we've helped so many people relocate. Like when you're in a position where you just have a piece of real estate and that's the only thing that is tying you to a certain location, and you are ready to move or are forced to move or are choosing to move, that piece of property can be a bit of a burden. I don't know how many of you out there have ever been either a landlord or a long distance landlord, or just have multiple properties. It's a lot of work. You're counting on a team of people if you're keeping it. You need to make sure that the grass is still cut. You got to still make sure that somebody's checking on the heat and many other things. That was only 2 items. Probably a list of 50 if you have a second home, or if you're being a landlord from that far because for one reason or another you weren't able to sell in the traditional market. It can be tough. Not only tough if you were running it yourself, but tough to find a property management company that cares enough for your single home. Look, we all know property managers make their money in volume. And having a single property, sometimes that attention is not there. Debt relief is another huge challenge that we see. Let's just pop in the same shoes as the person that relocated and now they have a home in a different state. They still have 2 mortgages to pay if they just bought another house. I'm just thinking of a story of an associate of ours. Before he got involved in real estate, he had a home that he was relocating from. Take a quick pause there. All right, we'll cut back. Another thing that we always see is debt relief. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you have somebody who potentially has relocated now has 2 homes and has mortgages that they cannot pay. Or someone that just has a home and they're getting backed up in their mortgage and they're getting backed up in arrears now. And now they're struggling to make that payment. Like, it's not like this particular person is going to be looked to go buy another home right away. All they want to do is take the burden off their shoulders of the debt. Now, we have helped out so many people in that position. Our company is built upon the unforeseen challenges. We have seen pretty much everything. And I'm sure you will challenge me with that one day as well. So when you are going through a financial burden, or when you are going through a real estate challenge, please, I encourage you to reach out to us, and we will be happy to try to find a solution for you. And if we can't, I promise you, we will let you know. Everyone, thank you for joining me on another episode of Not Just a Transaction. Please, if you are on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening to this, please rate and review this podcast. Good, bad, or indifferent. We want to get your feedback so we can continue to bring you value. Everybody have a fantastic day, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Not Just a Transaction. If you want to learn more on selling a home, buying a home, or resources to learn more, head on over to our website at originalre.com.